What's going on, YouTube? I go by David Spike. This is the David Spike podcast, David Spike show. We'll get to all that later. A couple things I want to talk about in this video. We're going to talk about how the Sixers look after 2 games. Also want to kind of take a look at the Charlotte Hornets. Like, what's going on with them? I honestly don't know. They started off the year really good, but we'll get into that. So the big topic is going around the league. This is currently March 1st. Philadelphia 76ers. They look good. There are a couple things that I still think they are lacking, especially on the defensive end of the ball. But let's kind of get the cat out the bag, as they say. James Harden is a good fit for Joel Embiid. Those two look very good together. Now let's look at some of James Harden's stats for the last 2 games, right? So he debuted against the Timberwolves. Forgot what day it was. I believe it was their first game after All-Star break. So whatever that Thursday date was, that was his debut. So his debut game, he had 27 points, 12 assists, and 8 rebounds. Regular James Harden type of game, nothing too crazy. The fit looked good. The pick and roll was what we thought the pick and roll would be. Him and Embiid both got to the free throw line. And Tyrese Maxey is probably the happiest guy on the planet, man. Those 3 are going to be very, very difficult for a lot of teams to actually go against. Coming up in these playoffs, man, they're actually currently sitting at the 3rd seed. Couple games behind Chicago and Miami at the top, number 1 seed. Embiid is getting, he's not getting double teamed as much as when he had Ben Simmons on his team, because now they can't just load up on him especially when he has Maxey out there as well with James Harden. They really can't double Embiid. So look out for Embiid to his point total is probably going to go up more, because we all know James Harden likes to facilitate a little bit more these days. Saves his energy, and he's going to be a little bit more refreshed by the time the playoffs roll around. Hopefully he doesn't get any more hamstring injuries and things of that nature. So the first game was pretty good. They won. I forgot what the total was. I'm not really going to focus on total scores and all that. I'm just looking at fit and all that. One thing I did want to mention is their defense is going to be key for them if they really want to be a successful team. Now, they have a couple of defensive guys in Matisse Thybulle and Danny Green, old Danny Green. But outside of that, and Joel Embiid, of course, they don't really have anybody that's... If Matisse Thybulle gets into foul trouble, who's going to be that guy to kind of slow down the perimeter player that's cooking them? Say they got Trae Young, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, any guys like that. Who's going to be the guy if Matisse Thybulle's in trouble to slow these guys down? They're going to have to trade offense for offense. That's not really a good look. That's not going to help in the playoffs when things slow down. Doc is also a big question mark. I feel like Doc Rivers doesn't really run plays a lot. It's more so just sets and free ball. They play a lot of park ball, a lot of, dribble handoffs, pick and rolls, post ups, regular shit you see at the park, so. But with all that said, they do look good and they do look scary, man. Second game, they had the Knicks. And Harden has 16 assists. 16 assists in his second game. I believe the broadcast said he only practiced with the team 1 time. 1 time. What more do you want? 1 time, and they look that good already. Now they have some things to iron out as far as getting the other guys involved. We need to see more shooting from Furkan Korkmaz, from Georges Niang. Danny Green needs to come alive a little bit. Tobias Harris is now basically a catch and shooter. That's not really his game. Tobias likes to dribble a little bit and get to the basket, drive. He likes to post up. Things of that nature, get his touches. Now with James Harden there, he's not going to get any touches like that. He's really just going to stand in the corner, wait for the ball, catch and shoot. If he can't do that, he's going to catch, he's going to act like he's going to penetrate, and then he's just going to kick it back out to whoever's on the perimeter. So Doc has a lot of... If Doc decides to really make sure the whole starting 5 could be successful, he's going to have to figure out how to get Tobias. Maybe they put Tobias in pick-and-roll situations with James Harden so he could get them easy dump-offs like Embiid do. But outside of that, man, just Tyrese Maxey, though, he is the ultimate X factor for the Sixers. he fits so well, and because he's a young guy and he got a lot of energy, it just rubs off on the whole team. Like he doesn't even care when he gets the ball. He just knows when he gets the ball that he has one or two things to do. I'm going to shoot it or I'm going to make the shot. So they're really good, man. They look good. I do want to see him against like other top tier teams to see if they can actually match up with them, because outside Embiid, Harden, and Maxey, those are kind of their like big weapons. Everybody else is kind of just filler players, which is perfectly fine when you have a legit big three that all can do multiple things. Like Maxey can play point guard and facilitate the offense because he's been doing that before James Harden got there. James Harden can continue to score and facilitate, rebound, all that. Joel Embiid could consistently give you 29 and 13 with 2 blocks a game, so he can still play defense, protect the rim, and all that. So their roles are solidified. Tobias Harris is going to have to do a lot more rebounding, and he's going to have to step up on the defensive end because they don't have too many guys that really can like lock up. Like you're tiring out Matisse Thybulle by just having him play defense, which that's what he's there for. He's a defensive specialist. He's supposed to be a 3-and-D guy, but his jump shot is looking Ben Simmons-ish. You know, they're already like helping off of him, like the same kind of things they were doing to Ben. Whoever's guarding Matisse, they just double up on Embiid. So, I mean, Tobias is going to have to step up defensively. He's going to have to be a catcher. He's basically going to have to turn to a 3-and-D player. He's going to have to be exactly what Matisse is for them, just a bigger guy. So they got some key games coming up, though. I want to talk about their key games coming up. They see the Heat twice. So these are some of the games I want to see if they can really match up with with their talent. Because essentially, beating the Timberwolves and beating the Knicks, they're supposed to beat them teams. Even if they didn't have James Harden, they're supposed to beat those teams. So, yeah. So they got the Heat twice coming up. They got the Bulls. That Nets game on March 10th, which a lot of people are looking forward to, because for whatever reason they think Ben Simmons is going to play in that game. I think he's not going to play in that game. He's not mentally ready to see the Philly crowd again. So he's going to continue to sit out with back pain, which he probably does have back pain because he's been dealing with back issues for about 3 to 4 years now. But that game in the Nets, Kevin Durant might be back for that game. I think he's going to be back. Since it's a home game for the Sixers, Kyrie's going to be in the building. And then also they got the Suns and the Bucks. So those are some of the key marquee games kind of to end out their season. So those are, if they say, what's that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So out of those 6 games, if they could win 4 of those, then they're really making some noise to me. But the other thing I did want to mention in this today's episode, what's going on with the Charlotte Hornets, man? Like they're disappointing me this season. I honestly thought that the Charlotte Hornets were going to be what the Cavs were. Like the Cavs are sitting, 4th seed right now with 36 wins or something like that. And the Hornets just got, dominated by the Bucks last night. I was trying to watch the game because I know I was going to make this video the next day to kind of, get some pointers, but it's like I couldn't even stay engaged. Like LaMelo started off the game hot. I think he had 13 or 14 points in the first quarter. This is my thing with the Hornets, though. Who is their number one option? If you know, please let me know in the comment section. But who is their number one option? It's real inconsistent with who the number 1, 2, or 3 scoring option is. It kind of just varies on whoever likes their matchup on what team they're playing. And that's not really going to help them elevate going into this play-in tournament, because we know they're going to be in the play-in tournament. According to the stats, they average 116 points, which is the most in the NBA currently right now. And they're 3rd in assists, which is what? I didn't write the number down. I think they're averaging like 28 or 29 assists per game, which is really good offensively. But it looks like they can't guard nobody. I probably could get at least 15 points off of them right now. But they have, to me, they have a lot of wing guys, even though they did just make a trade for Montrezl Harrell for like Ish Smith and somebody else. But that they didn't really trade none of their wing guys. Like they have too many guys that likes to play on the perimeter, and they don't have really a lot of size on the inside to kind of, Mason Plumlee is good, but Mason Plumlee's not really a starter anymore these days. He's honestly a good backup, and for him to kind of be a starter, and him and PJ Washington to be down there. PJ even shoots the ball really well, so he's more of a stretch forward. So they don't really got any like size on the inside, and I think that's really what's stopping them from, winning a lot of games, because if they can keep up the pace and score at everybody, but they can't really stop the other side of the ball. It just looks like they just kind of play park ball, have fun. Whoever got it that night, got it that night, and that's just how the game works. But I honestly thought they were going to be where the Cavs were. They started 5-1, so they had something at the beginning of the season, but we all know you can't really trust the first month of the NBA because training camp teams are, guys are starting to ramp up. Some guys ain't really trying yet and things of that nature. But the Hornets need to do something fast, man. If they want to continue to be in and not be in that play-in tournament every year, they're going to have to make a big move this offseason and try to get a guy, maybe like a Miles Turner, somebody of that, stature that can, really protect the rim and, maybe catch lobs and, just do dirty work for him. But they do have one of the brightest stars in the NBA in LaMelo Ball. They're always going to be fun to watch. And like I said, they got the number one. If they scoring 160 points per game, but they're also giving you, they letting opponents get 160 points per game. It's only a matter of time before people get unhappy and don't want to go there and leave and things of that nature. And then when LaMelo gets his big contract, then we're going to see possibly players get moved right before that. So I think that's going to be it for today's episode, man. I go by David Spike. Appreciate y'all for watching this video, man. I will see y'all on the next one. See ya.